Toot, 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 toot. Jay, I allowed you to talk now. I thought I clicked. Toot, 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 toot. Jay, I Jay, could you try to say something? Uh, you should now be a panelist, Jay. Jay, it looks like you're talking, but I can't hear anything. Can you guys hear anything that Jay is saying? No, we can't hear you, Jay. But they can hear me.
How about now? Anyone? Yay!
Yay!
Right.
It's 18:59, so it's 1 minute before start. So let's just wait a couple of minutes before, so give people a chance to hear.
Sure.
I'll just post on Facebook that we're live now. 2 seconds.
Okay. Yeah. I originally started on Google Meet, and I'm not sure what was going on there. I just had to click through it. I don't think my headset's working actually, so I unplugged it. So we're good.
The time is 7:00 p.m.
Right now it says 7:00 p.m. I don't know. Could you hear that? My computer is reminding me what time it is. Could you hear it?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I'm just posting in the Yaks group and in the Schema Writer group that
No problem. I'm just getting used to wearing, the reading glasses because the old age has kicked in and I can't see the computer good anymore.
Yeah. Tell me everything about that, about the old age. That is. Okay, I think that we are now at 7:00. So I think that it's just launched because you have a back end. When is it that your time is ending?
I've got a good hour to spend with us today. I just got to get my children at that school, so take it out at like 3, so a little around 2ish for me, which is a good hour. So,
All right. What time zone? What time is it in your part of the world?
we are at right now. We're at 1 p.m. Eastern. 1 p.m.
1 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's 7 p.m. here in Denmark. So it's
Okay.
yeah, early evening, so to speak. So okay, so let's get started because we have an hour. So yeah. So welcome guys that have joined this webinar. So welcome Sky, Omer, Nick, Mike, Kyle, Ken, John, Andrew, Local SEO 365, Jill, Dan, Bernard, and Steve. Welcome to you guys and to the other late joiners and the if anybody's watching at YouTube, welcome to you all also. The reason that I took initiative to this webinar and the reason that I invited Jay to this webinar is because I welcome back, Jesper. Well, thank you, Bernard. So the reason that I took initiative to this webinar is because I feel that I'm working with link building every day, and I'm testing link building techniques every day. And with the latest updates, the last 1 or 2 years with Google, I feel that real links from real websites are becoming more and more and more important. And when I'm talking about real websites, I'm talking about websites like my own, jespernissen.com, Yax and Schema Writer websites. Ordinary actual websites. So besides that, of course, I also firmly believe in the power of the cloud links, obviously, as the creator of Yax. But besides that, we need more links. And that's where Jay comes in because Jay has been building PBN, private blog network websites for, I think it's many years. Jay, correct me if I'm many
years.
many years, and he has a extensive experience. He runs a service where he sells PBN sites. He has a course where he teaches you to create PBN websites. And in my opinion, and in my world, the PBN site is the perfect companion link building technique to cloud links and other links also. So that's the reason that I decided to invite Jay on this webinar. And yeah, so Jay, with that introduction, I'll just give the word to you. And yeah, welcome.
Okay. Thank you, Jesper. Thank you very much. Yeah, me and Jesper have been talking a little bit, and I noticed, him posting his CloudNet links, and he noticed me posting PBN links, and that's kind of how we have come together in this link building world, I believe, and it's definitely going to be for the long-term benefit of just SEO in general. I'm a strong believer. Just a quick background: I did start building PBN links over 15 years ago for a large marketing firm in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. They put me in as a kind of an under tier web developer guy, beginning SEO guy, and told me to build tons of WordPress sites every week. So I was doing 80 to 100 very small, quick builds, and these were, a lot of them were just cheap, free stuff. And we were using free hosting and all kinds of different bizarre techniques at that time, to be frank. And, all the free hosting accounts we could put them on. And, they had a process. We built the PBN sites, basically just installed WordPress, got them up live. From there, we had content editors come in, graphic guys come in and do logos and all that fancy stuff. But over the years, I've kind of went back and forth with keeping a few large PBNs going for myself and just continuously building onto that. And there's several reasons I do that for. One is to keep control of my links for myself, for my clients. When you purchase links, unfortunately, you don't have much control. They can die off at any time. And from there, people keep recycling and buying more and more backlinks. And it just becomes a repeated, ongoing process that you have to budget for. So that said, I'll just get into, a little bit about what we do. I know you hear a lot of content is king. I'm one of them people that's a strong believer in content, but I'm even a more bigger believer in backlinks, because you can see the real power behind what a powerful backlink can do for a site. So just to dive into it, I can share my screen a little here, and I can kind of go over with you guys a little about just in the beginning stages of some of the main steps. Just to give a background, the expired domain market was valued at over $9 billion in 2023. It's expected to be over $12 billion in 2024. That growth is increasing value placed on all digital assets. So this is kind of more proof for me anyway, and someone that builds private blog networks and has a strong belief in them, that there's a reason people are buying, this amount of expired domains out there. And PBNs do control a lot of the internet. So believe it or not, when you search for a large website, if you do a good backlink profile reading on them, a lot of times you'll see you can't really detect a PBN straight off unless you've been around it a long time and kind of looking through some different elements. But most of these sites are being powered by some sort of PBN along with other link diversity. So I know one thing people ask and are always afraid of is, am I going to get hit by Google? Is Google going to be the big, snap down on this? And, are they going to basically clamp down on us and blacklist our website, this or that? Obviously, you don't want to just kind of go putting a PBN together without having some background in what you're doing here as far as safety. So number one, we do stagger what you call domain registration. I'm not sure if I can share my screen, but I just got some notes written. It's not a big deal, I can tell you.
Oh, let
But
me,
basically,
Jay, can you see if you can share your screen?
okay, let me see now.
You have the option, it's in the bottom. There should be a green button. And if not, then I'm,
Yeah, it's disabled right now.
hold on, let me just, I'll make you host.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
All right, so
If I talk too fast, tell me to slow down too. Sometimes I get a little excited about what I'm saying here.
so now you can share.
Okay. So I have a real big belief in PBNs, and I'm going to go through that for you so you guys understand why I believe in them so much too. So basically, keeping safe from Google. If you can see my screen now, I've got some notes I've wrote down here. We do everything different, and there's a system to this. Obviously, once you have a process down to it, from the themes we use to the plugins to the hosting, everything is done as far as there's no connection here. So one of the first things, I'll kind of skip around here to the domains, because that's really where your first step is. If somebody comes in and says, hey, Jay, I want you to build a PBN for me, the first step we're taking is staggering domain registrations. And what I mean by that is I'm not just opening up a reseller hosting account at A2Host or SiteGround or any of these, and then placing all my sites under one roof and just registering domains at the same time. We go through a real big process. The domain registration is the biggest pain in the butt of it all. And the reason being is that we use every different platform you could possibly think of, from INOS to Namecheap to GoDaddy to Hostinger to NameSilo. I mean, they go on and on. Even SiteGround, who's pretty high to do domain registrations. We have domains registered everywhere, and we do purchase also off of different market platforms for expired domains. So what I mean by staggering domain registration is we will come in and you say, hey, I want a 5-site PBN. We'll start scraping the net for domains regarding that niche relevancy somewhat. We're looking for expireds and things like that. And we'll go through every marketplace that we know, and we'll do a registration on, say, if we were to do one today, October 1st, and then we would wait and we would register our next domain October 4th, October 5th, 7th. So not any domains are never purchased on the same date, and they're also not done under the same roof. So, if it's a 5-site PBN, all 5 sites are going to be registered with a different domain registrar. So a GoDaddy, a Namecheap, etc. And they're going to be all registered at different dates from different domain accounts as well. So that's where a lot of people have trouble with that, because, how do I get 10 different names, to register domains from? How do I get 5, whatever it is? Obviously,
Jay,
that's taken us a long time to do. So.
Jay, I have a comment because I can see that 3 people have commented that they can only see a black screen. I can see you, but now okay, now they're saying that they can see. Yeah, it's fine now.
Can see, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, great. So yes, it's one of the hardest parts of building a PBN on your own would be this part right here. You could have friends, you could have family. People always come to me, hey, can I register fake names? We don't do that. I have a large family, thankfully, and I have a lot of family members that own or register these domains on different, registrars with us. And then we also have several different small company names. So that's how we are handling domain registrations. I know people do it a lot of different ways. There's some PBNs, hosting and domain registers that say, hey, you can register everything with us. We'll take care of it, make it safe. But this is our method. So I'm letting you a little bit of an inside secret there of what we do. And I feel it's a really important factor, because I know Jesper touched on it slightly, of getting links from real websites. And that's the key to a PBN, is it is a real website, and we're building it to be exactly like that. The only difference is we're making triple sure that each site does not have any type of connection. Nothing is the same. Nothing's, again, registered the same date or under the same domain platform. So that's domain registers, and we do look at backlink profiles on things like Ahrefs. So I can pull you up just a very quick cleaning PBN that we started to work on here, and we can just peek at a quick idea. Oh, I didn't do that right. There we go. Okay. So a quick idea is I can take the top domain or one of these. This one wasn't expired. This one was a clean home. You can see it's a simple website, but we'll throw it through Ahrefs and we'll see, you know, what it has. And we do this on different marketplaces. So this one is a domain rating of 22. It already has 53 backlinks going to it. Not going to dig into the profile here, but we'll look.
Jay, you need to explain how you found that domain name, a clean home. How did you find that?
Okay. Let's see. That's a good one. Back here is this one would have been done on Inos, I believe. So maybe okay, I know where this one was. Okay, good question. So there's a couple ways to do domains, and this is a big secretive thing here. A lot of people will do them on marketplaces, GoDaddy auctions. We do them everywhere. But this was actually what we call a drop domain. So we're going to do an expireddomains.net expired domain search. I won't go too crazy on this, guys, because this gets pretty crazy. But this site alone is what this site is it's showing you all the domains that are actually dropping and expiring today. Not all, but you know, as many as they can scrape. There's several sites out here to do similar. So these are domain names that are actually ending today. And if you look over here, you can see all these backlinks, etc. And you're going to find all kinds of funky names. You know, and again, this is where it comes hard. So this was a cleaning PBN that we were building. So we probably did something to the nature of just search for cleaning. We would do it. We have a membership, but we would do cleaning search under expired or even deleted domains and bring up as many cleaning type websites as we can. Let's see if we can do it here. Domain list, yeah. And you can see there's different options of the GoDaddy closeouts. Now, digging from these sites, you got to realize there's a lot of other people on here buying and looking at these pending deleted domains. So you want to kind of go back, and if there's something that's expiring today, make a big mental note of it. And you're going to get into a bidding war. A lot of these are going directly. Let me see if I can find it so I can show you guys. I'm going to go back a few pages because these are all actually not technically expired yet today. Let's see if we can go back. A lot of them coming off today. So when you dig into these a little further, let's see. These are the pending deleted. No wonder. There we go. Okay. So these are all deleting, and you're going to see that they show status available. And you can do a Google check on these. I just want to get to this one page. Sorry, guys. There's just a ton of these. Okay. So you're going to see these pop up. The status over here, some of them will show GoDaddy's auctions and things of that nature. And we were trying to get to a page to show you that. But that's one way that we're scraping them. And there's going to bring up all that kind of stuff for you. So you can do a filter. This is sign up for free account. You can do a filter to show these as well. So this is one way. Now, the other thing that I'm very happy to do is simply go to something like Namecheap as well, because scraping off expireddomains.net is tiring, to be frank. So, you know, you have to do a lot of backleg work there. So what we do is we go to a marketplace like, say, I love Namecheap. They're very organized. You've got a lot of buyers on here, and there's definitely a lot of SEO people here. And I know a few of them. I see their names, and they're actually, you know, sometimes bidding against me, unfortunately. But anyway, so here's where we have a marketplace of everything broken down, even SEO-friendly domains. And these are pretty nice here. So these got a lot of metrics that they show you already. So you can go to SEO domains for an example. I like to do by time left. I don't know what's in my cart here. I'm going to tell you not to do XYZs. For some reason, people thought it would be very clever to register a bunch of XYZ domains. Most of them are very spammy domains. And the reason why people do them is to try to be cheap with building PBNs. XYZ domains are very cheap to re-register every year. So I don't like them. I hate them. I don't have them in any of my PBNs. So you can go through here. You can see right here is a PBN. I don't like the name, onlyfinderguestposting.com. I don't look at names too much. I'm going to click on and see profile. This one's created in 2023. It does have a DR, which is Ahrefs, however you want to pronounce it, its rating, and 16 backlinks. And a guy named Domain Hunters is bidding on it. You can see he's a big bidder. He's a silver buyer. Domains 148. Now I look at this, when I see somebody like this bidding, I'm like, okay, well, there must be good, backlinks on this domain. Something's going on good for an experienced buyer to be in here bidding. So this would be one I would keep an eye on. And strictly being that I've already seen a buyer here, and then I would go to Ahrefs and, do my quick check. And we can always confirm just by a very quick look here, even under, you don't even have to have an account to look at a certain number of backlinks or authority here. But you can see it does have a 25 authority. For some reason, I'm showing 2,000 backlinks and 196 websites backlinks built from. So this one on paper looks good. 51's a little high. I'm building PBNs for really affordable prices. I'm not looking really to go too much higher per domain purchase. Personal PBNs, sky's the limit if you're really investing in a big project for somebody, or if you're going in a partnership on something you're building. You can get very high dollar on some of these expired domains. But you see, this one, honestly, it's going off in 22 hours. I'm going to predict it's over $100 that it sells for, but it's something worth monitoring and looking at. Now, you can go through all these, and names don't matter, but if you're looking for niche specific, you can always go into real estate, housing, stuff like that's always going to be big. Let's just go to cleaning because we're actually building on that type of PBN. So this one has a house cleaning, an air conditioning cleaning. It's going off in 11 days. This house cleaning domain has 94 backlinks, a 26 DR. So these attract me right off. Building cheap PBNs, $20, $30 registers. Now, when you register a domain, keep in mind on sites, you're going to pay whatever you bid on them, plus the re-registration fee. As you see down here, it's $16.88 per year. So that's where your expenses come in. You're going to look at that on how you're bidding. If you're looking to really save money, go into this, again, predicting that, anywhere from $20 to $30 purchase, I can get an expired domain that does have some backlinks, does have some authority already. If I want to invest and get a really high dollar one, I'm going to be over $100 and investing per domain. Okay. So this is a big marketplace for me. We spend a lot of time on Namecheap. I personally like it because they update, and they are actually pulling in a lot of, on expireddomains.net, you'll see a lot of them do go to Namecheap. So it's a big marketplace. Now, if you go down to here, you can see there's some huge dollar, domains and stuff that sell. So there's a possibility if you're getting into someone who's really looking to spend some big money. And when I say big money, I'm looking $10,000 plus on a PBN. Then obviously you can start talking with some of these bigger dollar figures. These are obviously crazy. I was looking at this one. I got very excited in the beginning and started out with a $15 bid, Mayan.com, but you can see it went way, way above what we would spend. But you can get a lot of them in here. So just to kind of go back to these, you can get good domains right here. All these are going off for 15. Those are the XYZs, but you can scroll down and you see you have a lot of .coms. Tracking SSL. This would work for web development. This would work for anything, really. Get profit host. You're always going to find ones that are related to marketing, and that's always a plus for us. So you want to understand, too, building a PBN, this becomes an issue when you say, hey, I want something very niche specific, Jay. The cleaning guys want that. They're like, hey, we want something very niche specific. I had to back off of it a little bit because there's only so much residential or office cleaning type domains that we can get. Subject wise becomes a problem of just getting repetitive and just boring content going to the sites. So we try to generalize it and give you an idea. If I go to cleaning PBNs, you can see I've got a maid one, I've got house care news, I've got Highbury cleaners that clean home, clean us. So like a house care news site, it's going to give you tips from everything about laundry, ceiling fans. It's not just a cleaner site. And we've broken this down with a personal blogger. And these articles are all automated coming into this site, and we'll get into that a little bit. So this is, again, to give you a general topic, but it's still going to come from a good site, House Care News, cleaning company. Once this builds more authority, it will be a powerful backlink. We start out all of our backlinks generally on the homepage, and they last there for a period of time. Once Google's crawled that a couple times, the link stays of high value because it has been crawled, and it can be recycled back in, you know, not an archive. We don't really archive them like press release. We would just take it like off the front page, but it would still be down into your, you know, your blog or your news type thing. This one actually doesn't have a news tab, so we'll have to change that. But yes, that's some idea of just generalization and keeping topics that aren't too crazy. Each one of these sites, too, we've done completely different. This one's just like tips and care news, kind of a mommy blog. We've set it up with a blogger and a writer, Pamela here. And then over here, this is more like a complete actual, looks like a service business. So you can go onto this site, Highbury Cleaners. By looking at this, you're going to look at it like a real cleaning company and a real site. I've even set up Crunchbase links and some other links to this one, foundation-wise, that makes it look just like a certified cleaner. This actually was an expired domain that was a cleaning company prior. So we're just kind of recopying some of that. We haven't went too crazy on repurposing blogs here on this one. But you can see we've got a lot of stuff related to cleaning services, cleaning products on this one. Okay. So that's an idea of how we give a different variety. The cleaning guy came to us, well, I don't want every site having, you know, my latest recent post on there. And, you know, I'm worried that people look at it and say, all my links are from PBNs. Well, some sites are going to be like a news magazine type site where they produce, let's see if we have one here. Well, I think House Care News was like that. Yeah. So some of them are going to be like House Care News, where these are producing unique content that's different and different subject matter, but the front page you see is all recent posts. So it's a blog site, but then this one is more like a service-based site. So that gives you some variety as far as the type of sites that are linking. And that's how we really like to set them up. And some of them will look more like a personal blog, personal news site. Some of them will look like a company, etc. So that's that. Back to some notes here. Hosting. If you're familiar with hosting at all, you understand that websites are each assigned IP addresses, or your hosting accounts are. Shared hostings use those same ones. Shared hostings became, like a reseller shared host became really a part of which was hurting and burying PBNs years back. The reason being, people thought it was the way to go. They could just open up a reseller sharing host and just start throwing a bunch of different domains on there. If you look into reseller shared hosting, you will see the word shared actually means that you're sharing that hosting IP with not only what's under your roof, but what's under a lot of other people's roofs. So a reseller shared hosting account is actually utilizing IPs that are being shared by others. So you have no control over the sites that are getting read under that. So you don't want that. Some people do that, and you can set up a reseller account, but you're really playing with fire because you don't know what's under those. So what I suggest on hosting is just contact your hosting company. I have our setup of what we do. You would need unique C blocks for each domain that or each website, and those will give you a unique IP address. We stay country Pacific with the data centers. So this is where, and I have no knock on what other people do. other vendors, or anyone else that's offering building PBNs. But this is where you have to be alert on if you are subcontracting with someone overseas that's not in your country or not where your customers are. You have to realize that that host may be coming from a different data center. Like for us, it's USA based, and most of our clients are USA. So we want USA based data centers for our hosting. Some of them, hosting companies' accounts, most of them are going to have those type of data centers, but some of them won't. So you need to contact those. And, if somebody's running on their own private server and they're in, say, wherever it may be, that's not related to your country, it's just something to keep aware of.
Jay, just quick
Yeah.
question. You need to just quickly explain what a C block IP is.
Okay. What it is, it's an assigned dedicated address. C blocks, they're not easily, they used to be much easier to get, but basically you want to know that your C block is going to give you a unique dedicated IP address just to your host, just to your website address. So that's really what you need to know about what it is as far as how it's operating for you. And because that's where you want to have the different shared hosting accounts or different hosting accounts. Because if you're having one IP address, for an example, under a shared host, you won't have a unique C block. It will be for every website you have built under that. Now, some hosting companies have gotten really, they know what we're doing, I guess you should say. So some of them have gotten really particular on how many they'll allow you to have. They may only give you 15, they may only give you 20, but they are cheap. So don't worry about that if you're like, oh, how much? I've gotten, and you can negotiate with these guys. So get on with chat. You can negotiate. I think I couldn't tell you right now. I don't really handle like purchasing, but I think we're paying anywhere from $3 to $5 a piece for a dedicated IP address. So that's really all. Just ask your hosting hosting company. If you say you got 10 domains registered with them, if you can get dedicated IP addresses for each. Okay. That's really what your benefit is for those. And that's, again, just to keep them separate from one another. If I could dig into a hosting account, I'm not sure really how I would even access the shared hosting that would show you all the different websites listed under like one IP. It's quite scary. You'll see sites listed from all over the world under a shared hosting account that's using the same IP address. Perfectly fine if you're building sites that are, again, not related to PBN, but on the SEO side of things, I'm pretty particular about that. Some people will battle you on that. They'll say, why do you want to throw that kind of money into just a website? I feel like every website is a digital asset. I'm going to treat it that way. I'm going to make it of highest value for me. And that's something that, when you're doing lead gen and things like that, it's hard to invest too much into, your unique IP addresses, your expired domains, and all that into one roof. So something to be aware of, though. But once you have it, you can use hosting accounts that are PBN hosting and things like that, and they'll set you up with unique IPs. You're going to pay premiums for those. A 10-site PBN host will probably run you $30, $40, $50 a month, depending on who you're using. I don't have recommendations for that because I'm not, again, offering that type of reseller service or really utilizing that type of hosting account. What we do is we do have our own servers that we're setting up unique dedicated IP addresses to each domain. But if you're starting out, what I would suggest is if you just want to do a 5-site PBN, register them at a few different domains, registrars, set up a hosting account or two, and just get different dedicated IPs. You could technically keep a couple sites under the same host, that type of thing, but don't get too crazy about it. All right. I think that pretty much covers most of what the hosting would do. So again, some people, if you guys want to know, I know there's PBN Blog Network, Sika Host. There's a few names. I'll supply everybody with this document, so I'll have some of these notes in there. There's a few names, and you could check into those. Again, I just don't have a recommendation for those. I haven't personally, utilized their services. The big question I get a lot is, do you build only WordPress sites? Are they all under the same theme, the same website builder? No, again, everything we do is different from one to another. We do utilize the same themes, same layouts, but for different niches and different PBNs. So how we have this built so it's fast and effective is we have Gutenberg templates, we have Cadence templates. This is all WordPress. We have Beaver, we have Elementor, we have Breakdance. These probably are all the page builders I think we're using. Blocksy, I believe, is another one. So we would be using all these, and each one has their own set of templates that we've developed. When we develop a template, generally speaking, it's going to be broken down into a few different areas: a homepage template, a blog template, a single blog post template. A homepage template, self-explanatory, is the homepage. A blog template would be, I didn't see where this one is. It's either going to be news or blog. It's probably news then. Okay, yeah. So this would be a news template. A single blog post template is this, just how the blog post lays out, whether it has stuff on the side, where the featured image lies, that kind of thing. So this would be one single post template, homepage template, etc. Each one, again, is done underneath each builder. So we have all these for each one of these builders. So you can see just right off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's probably 6 of them that give you 6 or 7 different blog templates right off with different builders, 6 or 7 single blogs and homepage, etc. So got a lot of design layout options there right off. Elementor, I can tell you we've got hundreds because we do a lot of cloning on Elementor. Like if you see a website design layout you like online, we will clone it exactly. And we do that for customers we build websites for. And by doing that over the years, Elementor's been building too long, but over the time period, we collected a ton of Elementor templates. So we do utilize Elementor. It's probably a good 1/4 of the PBN building. So, you know, you can have under a 5-site PBN, you could have 1 or 2 built with Elementor. Under a 10-site, you could have 3 or 4. It's not, you know, dead science that you have to have each one different because, again, we're going to be working with different themes and things of that nature. So theme-wise, we like Cadence, Hello Theme, Astra, Newsmag, Generate Press. I'll dig into this real quick here. We'll just jump into anything. These are a bunch of temp builds. And you can do something. I'm just trying to make it something really simple because a couple of these sites are actually done this way. Let's go ahead and jump into an admin real quick. And these work, guys, so I don't refrain from them. If you're looking to do a blog, yay, this is actually a site we're working on. I shouldn't have done it. You're looking to do a blog, like the front page one I showed you with just blog post. You could do something like just type in news or magazine and find the most, oh, excuse me, we have to add a theme. Add a theme, of course. News. And you can look at all these different ones that they come up with here. This is News Elementor. I don't believe we've actually used that. A lot of it's basic, but some of these come with pre-demos and things of that nature. So when I'm doing a PBN, we usually do grab out a news template or 2. This is a pretty nice looking one here. So you can see, you could pop open a News Expo site that would be real quick, come out the door like that. And we do like one like that on each one. And most of the others would be, say, you know, the Hello theme. Elementor. I know if you guys are building any sites, you probably utilize this theme a lot. So those are different ones. So again, if you're used to doing web development and WordPress, you're going to set up a site 2 ways. You're going to be read. Excuse me, I hit the wrong line. You're going to set it up 2 ways. Either the home page to be static, which as you see, this one's home static, or it can be blog post. So it's blog post, and that's or your latest post could be your PBN. So like this one here is the latest post. This one would be a home page with the latest post. But this site here is completely different. And this is actually a static homepage with a blog here. Okay. And I do recommend doing them differently. Not everyone does them different. A lot of people do just blog sites as their homepage because the post is where you're going to be adding backlinks for. So a lot of people do it that way. I like to stagger it. So I will always make 2 or 3 look like a service type site like this one. And then the others, majority, are going to be this way, even if I make a big slider or something on top and all my posts below here. All right. So again, it's just about making everything like a real website. You don't have to go too crazy into the thought process. There's not an exact science to that. Just make the sites look different from one another. We build cheap logos in Canva, and those are done literally in 10 minutes time. So, I mean, you can really get by quick and easy with these as far as putting up sites. So that's one way, guys. And then do you only do WordPress sites? Well, we've dipped into Webflow recently, and we have a developer account with them. I've built in Wix before, but I don't really work with Wix, and I think it's all paid monthly. So I do actually have an opinion on that. I do think it is best that you're using different platforms if you can, especially if you're really going to grow onto the PBN. Some people start out with 5 sites. They can be all WordPress, but then they want 5 more and 5 more and 5 more. Well, that's when you want to maybe start to utilize some different platforms. One thing I've got here, and again, this is nothing to do with any referrals or anything like that. It's an Italian website, HTML website builder I've used for probably, I want to say, a good 10, 12 years. And they've continually updating it. On this particular machine, I think it's just a trial we have on here. It is, okay. So you can open this, though. It's website X5. I'm not going to go into it, but what it is, it's a website HTML5 builder. Super simple, pre-designed templates, everything already built into it. So you can, again, do anything here as far as a new site. You can just stick real quick here: fashion, beauty, sports, health, whatever. And again, these are going to be fairly basic HTML sites, but perfect for a PBN build. So you can just get a quick preview of one. Obviously, it's going to have warm dummy text and da-da-da-da. But again, these are all, guys, not for so much aesthetics. We do want them to look decent. A veterinarian one. This is going to be under probably the basic starter templates. You can get more advanced with the design on these. But you can see they're perfectly fine to slap together a quick PBN site to build you a nice backlink. And this would be from an HTML5 site. These sites index super fast as long as you got your content nice and clean, and so do the WordPress. See, that one wasn't a free end of it. So that's that, just to give you an idea of how you do have site diversity, okay? As far as the platforms we're building on. Any questions? Anything now? I kind of just went at it, I guess.
There are a lot of questions, but I'm not sure if you should just if you're done talking now, then we have a lot of questions.
Yeah, I'm not used to webinars, guys. By the way, this is kind of one of the first ones I've actually done. I'm definitely, Jesper's got me pulled in front of the camera, so this is, pardon me on that. I'm one of the guys that's always stayed behind the keyboard for years. So, but I'm very happy to share this information. So I do want to make that clear. It's very, very good that he's got me here with you. Sure, I'm willing, to go over a little bit more, but we can go ahead and, answer some of the questions since we
I think, okay, so let me take the first one. Is from Jill Armour, from Jim Armour. My ISP is Google Fiber, and I wonder if they can't see everything I do now, no matter how I try to keep them separate.
Ooh, that's absolutely a great question. Not too familiar with the ISP Google Fiber, but I would say you have actual legitimate concern if, we don't trust Google, just to be straight up front. They do influence or impact our privacy daily. So I I could not answer that with confidence for you that they wouldn't be able to see you because there's probably not something they're checking. Like I wouldn't think there's a guy behind Google Fiber going, hey, let's check for PBN sites for SEO people out there. But again, that's a concern that I would, have if I was on that internet service provider. So I don't know 100% that you're safe. That would be my best answer to that one. But
All right.
yeah, that's interesting. I haven't heard of anybody using that. So
Bernard is asking what themes are being used, but you kind of replied to that already.
yes.
And then Daniel is asking, I understand about different IPs, but can we hide it all behind Cloudflare? This way they do not know the exact IP address.
Okay. That's what most people do when they build a PBN. Yes. Personally, I still don't want, if you look up your name server, okay, on all your domains, I don't want them all going to Cloudflare. Now, we do use Cloudflare for some of our PBN stuff. If you have a concern that you may have registered a few different domains under, say, Namecheap, then go ahead and put a couple of them on the CDN and keep a couple as dedicated IPs. That's a good question because most people do not worry about the IP addresses being different and they do just build on Cloudflare. I'm not 100% confident in that because your name servers can still be peeled off the web and you're going to have repeated name servers that all are, everyone knows Cloudflare's name server, so I would say it's okay to do some, but not all. If you're doing a couple sites, guys, sure, do a couple on Cloudflare, point some links to them. That's fine.
Okay. So next question, what about buying domains with anonymous privacy services? Would that help with the requirement of having a big family? Smiley.
Yeah, and some of them are registered private. And when you go to register a domain right now, this is again making everything different though. So you wouldn't want to do all 5 sites private, but you can do that and say, hey, I've got 5 sites. I'll register 3 under 3 different names and 2 under my own name under privacy. You'll be perfectly fine about that. And keep in mind, Google's not going to come slap you if they see that 2 sites that you got links from are connected. It's when they start to see 5, 10, 15, 20 are all coming from the same. That's when you're going to have a concern. So if you've got a few sites coming from your same host, you're okay. And as you know, when you go to register a domain, I was just going to say a lot of times they're offering you, privacy for free right now. But you still do want to stagger those different dates and under different names if you can. And yeah, do a few of them private. It's about as making as much different as you can. If you've got to do a couple the same, you're okay.
And then there's another question. What about buying? What if you have domains already registered at the same place? Can you move them or is it already too late and Google already knows? So
All
let's
right,
say
that's
that you
good.
purchased 75 domains from the same registrar.
Yeah. Your only way to really utilize those would be to utilize them under different PBN builds, meaning that, okay, I've got 70 domains here. I'm going to break them down into 7 different 10-site PBNs. These 7 domains would be for cleaning, these 7 for plumbing. And that would be okay because you're running each one off as separate. But yeah, you want to keep the domains that are registered. That's tough, really. I don't think you're really safe doing it like that because they're all going to be registered on the same times and on your same platform. So that would be a big no-no. To be really forward. Yeah.
Okay. So next question, Bernard, totally agree. This must be done right. Yes, but have you done your due diligence? Are you using him for your PBNs? And I've followed Jay for a couple of years, so you could say I've done my due diligence because I can immediately see if people know what they're talking about. And you can, if you're following Jay, you can immediately see when he's posting that this guy is intelligent. He knows about SEO. So yeah, and I'm not using Jay for my PBNs, not yet anyway, because I'm building my own website. So it's but that doesn't mean that that invalidates Jay's knowledge because he knows a lot more about expired domains than I do because I've not worked with expired domains that much. clearly not as
Yeah.
much as you. So, and then Bernard goes on, is there a minimum number? And this is a good question. So is there a minimum number of websites to qualify as a PBN?
Really, there's not. You can continue to grow on them and build on them as long as you're keeping everything separate. Just really, when you build a PBN, I think especially if you're new to doing it, one of the main things we've touched on in the beginning was just making them like a real website. And if you're doing that unique from site to site, you're okay. I think the most biggest problem you would run into, doing say 100 site PBN is just keeping them separated, keeping your domain separated, keeping your hosting separated. I try to do smaller, impactful PBNs. I would rather have 5, 10. I don't like to get into really over 20 because those 5 or 10 PBN sites, I'm going to build the heck out of their authority. So they're going to be 10 quality, high quality, very high authority sites and that's going to be much harder for me to do even with, 20, 30 sites to continue to build them to high authority. I can really build on a 10 site PBN and push all those domains over, really up high in authority and make those 10 sites a link building machine. That's why I do like to have them a little more generalized though, because it gives you more topic. So you could pull out 100, 200, 300 backlinks per website if you've got a lot of different topics that you're shooting at. And those would be pointed to more than one website, generally speaking. Like a lot of clients are going to do this for, say, one cleaning website, but then they're going to say, yeah, you know what? I need to go ahead and link a few links to this site. And they're just going to use their PBNs for multiple sites. And that's fine. They're backlink building machines.
And Bernard is asking, doesn't Yax have this capability? I thought it could build in Yax. Can this be done, pros or cons? And yes, you can build the static HTML websites that we build in Yax can be used to, it can be uploaded to real domains using the FTP or SFTP. I built that into Yax. And pros or cons, I mean, it's static HTML, so it can't be hacked. It's much faster loading time if that's a factor for you.
Yeah.
And cons, of course, you don't have all of the plugins functionality that you have in WordPress, so that's obviously a con because it's static HTML done from Yax. But Pro is super fast, I mean, yeah. And you can edit, I don't know how many actually know this, but you can edit the websites from Yax like WordPress. It's web-based from Yax. You can edit all of your PBN websites if you are going to do that from Yax. And so next question, how do you backlink PBNs, or do you just rely on the backlink profile that the domain has from the beginning? That's a good question.
That's a really good question. Yes, it is, because there is some legwork into actually doing the backlinks to these and getting the domains built up. Now, we do have some old withstanding PBNs, and actually what Jesper's doing is something I've looked into doing, is building additional cloud links on top of the PBN sites. I do think it would actually be effective. So it's something we're looking into actually boosting up. But right now, what we're doing is using the existing backlink profile. And a lot of people don't realize this, is that you can generate pingback backlinks. It's an old school method, but it still works as far as building authority. So what that does is it's bringing in automated posted content through even RSSs. And we have a script that actually rewrites in OpenAI. It will pull in, and we can do this under any category. You may have heard like a feed C and things like that. So it will pull in, say, under we'll go back to a cleaning blog site. It will pull in the latest post from there. It will, just like an RSS feed, that's what it is, and it will update, but we have it set where OpenAI will rewrite it and post on our site. And then it does the pingbacks. Now, the pingbacks bring in natural backlinks. But that said, there is some other methods here that we really utilize, and previous old school PBNs that we've had up for a long time that we use to power up some of these sites, in addition to automated links. Now, it's nothing that I try to throw out there and recommend, but we have a set of foundational links that we set for each site. and then those do actually vary by niche. So we have a pretty big database of links that we can pull from. And from there, the tier 1 links, and if you're involved in link building at all, tier 1 links are all set to the PBN sites. And then we do run some automated content, or excuse me, automated backlinks to those tier 1 links. So they have a second tier of links. Automation wise is getting much more difficult, guys, these days. If you're involved with any black hat stuff, you're familiar with Ranker X, you're familiar with GSA. Money Robot is just a burned out blog, automated link building thing that's just not effective anymore. But that said, there is some very high authority sites that you can pull through things like GSA. I can show you a quick example, I guess, here. Let's just show. That's really one of the better questions, guys. That's a great question. Because you have to really be involved with link building to get your stuff built up, unless you're going to rely on just frequent posting content, which that will work, to eventually grab some extra
Jay, just keep in mind that this is streamed on YouTube. Just keep in mind before you share. I don't know what it is that you plan to share. I'm just giving you a heads up. It is streamed on YouTube, so.
Okay, that's fine. All right, so yeah,
you should just talk about it instead of I think just.
Okay. So what I was just going to show you was like, well, I can pull up a random link. This will actually be okay. What I'll do right here. Okay, so let's just go to Google Sheets real quick, guys. Most of what I'm showing you is my ownership, so I'm okay with that.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, but yeah, if it was something I wasn't, if it was client based, okay. So yeah, I'll just do a real quick link. So I have no idea. So
a quick question about this backlinks, because what would you think actually would be more effective? All of the links that you can build yourself, like About Me, Linktree, all of those kinds of links, or the ping backlinks. I mean, if you build enough of these free links, and then you compare them to the authority that you can build with the ping backlinks, how would you weigh that in strength? These two methods.
Yeah, the ping backlinks go well because they do usually bring in some authority. So that's something we utilize on the post in RSS. It's a good method. The set of foundational links, Google's indexing probably, I want to say maybe less than 30 or 40% of those right off now. And it used to be up to 70, 80. So that's a little bit more of a difficult process. But as much diversity as you can throw at each PBN site and free links, you can get for them, the better off it is. Some people are going as far as trying to do press on them and things of that sort. And we've tested that some, and I've got, a lot of these PBN links that it's about frequency. So as long as you're doing the ping backs and you're doing some of the extra link builds, would say just a basic foundation link, and you're doing some other frequent stuff, very good way to go about it. And you can do things, I won't go too crazy, but there's drip feed link platforms out there, guys, that you can drip feed a link every week, every 2 weeks into a post that are really cheap, so you can do things like that to build them up. But your long-term investment, and when we build a PBN link, we leave you with some authority, and I do give you a nice round of foundation links. From there, it's up to you to keep building on those. And, we give you some nice steps to do that, but we don't really keep building your authority for you. But, just to give you an idea of an automated link is what I was going to show you. This would be an automated link, guys. So don't be too scared of the blackout world out there, because it does still work, guys, as long as you're not abusing the system. See, this is a domain, and we won't look at these because they're going to look like crap as far as the backlinks they're getting. But the domain rating is 44. And if I was to do a Moz check, it's probably in the 30s. So again, this is just a backlink going to a PBN site itself. And all these are actually, each one of these here, and they're powerful though. So that's where we're just going to do like a very small base of high domain authority or domain ranking sites. Let me get off of this. And we're going to do a very small basis of those automation, but each one of those are going to be extremely high. And if you're probably familiar with parasite SEO or heard the term, and it's the same type of tactic. They're requiring or relying on a powerful boost off of a DR site of 90 or, above, or Forbes or something like that. So it doesn't take much. Another method, I think this is one of the better questions because it's one of the more challenging things that I'm facing on my own PBNs is to keep building diversity. One of the other methods that we're really starting to get into is wiki sites. We are hitting every wiki platform, and if you'll go around different big SEO firms or say Search Engine Journal, Search Engine World, I bet you could pull out both of their backlink profile. I know I did it on one of them, but I bet both of them are utilizing this method. And you'll see, and this is something we're starting to do, is getting links into actual Wikipedia from foreign Wikipedias. If you will pull up Search Engine Journals, I think it's Search Engine Journal. It could be Search Engine World, guys, or Search Engine Land, but they're probably all the same. And look at their backlink profile. This is where we utilize getting some free links. We're like, okay, if they can get this, we can get it. What do they have? We don't. It could be content, it could be this, that. And, again, we're only looking for a couple really powerful links to boost up our domain authority. Once our domain authority is built up, our posts to our PBN are hitting on Google. They're hitting on page 1, 2. And from there, we're gaining extra traffic. And as you know, I am from the CTR world too, so I boost up traffic and things like that help boost up PBN posts. So besides I think I went drawn out with that answer, but besides backlinks, we actually are pushing some slight CTR to PBN posts too. So one of the harder methods, though, that's why I think it was a really good question, is boosting up these sites. It used to be so easy to do, but it's not now. We used to just throw automated links at them. That was the way to go, but it's not. There's a process where we're trying to put some nice looking diversity in it now, so a little bit of everything when it comes to building some links to them.
Yeah. So actually, I had a question popping in my mind is because you're talking about that you just need to boost the domain authority to a certain number. And what's your let's say that you have a local SEO a local business owner and for example cleaning company. What's the ballpark of domain authority that we need to shoot for before gets easy to rank?
I would say for authority, it's all about the number of backlinks. Domain rating, it's all about the number of backlinks you have built, generally speaking, through Ahrefs. So I shoot for 30, that number to be 30 on both if we can get it. The Moz domain authority, generally speaking, is going to take a lot longer to build up. But we try to go for even at 15, 20, starting out for that one. Once we have the domain rating at 50, domain 30 at our domain authority at 30, we don't really go further. So that's where we stop at. And they do build authority from there, but I really don't think without actually going into it, and continually, we don't stop. We keep giving them some backlinks, but we don't go, crazy with it. So 30 for the domain rating is okay. And, even 15, 20 for domain authority.
So Daniel, keep talking.
I was just gonna say, if you get a DR of 30 and a DA of 20, that's a good backlink. So that's what you're looking to have for these PBN links to be a difference.
So Daniel is asking, so the latest Google update, from what I read, tried to devalue the expired domains, the effect from expired domains. Did you see any impact on this?
That's mostly to do with these spam farms, guys. There was some impact, and there was a lot of PBNs that were taken down in Indonesia and Malaysia, both those two countries. And the reason I say that is the data centers they really went after the data centers there, and they were doing, and you can still find these on the web, guys. So be very careful at cheap press releases. Cheap press releases are actually spammed out bogus PBNs that have been blacklisted for the most part. So when you see like a very weird looking foreign, like all these different looking news site type sites that are claiming to be press releases, those are actually old PBNs that were hammered. And some of those sites are going to still hold authority and all that, but they're big blacklisted. I haven't on my end. I haven't seen anything on that end. There was a local fishing guy, very small operation, that was doing some stuff that I think they actually caught on to with him. But again, as long as your building needs to be unique from one another and it has a real website, then you're good. And we don't. I want to reiterate. We don't actually sell links. So that's where I get asked so many times: do you sell PBN links? Do you sell? We don't. We only build PBNs for clients and then for ourselves. And so all of our links are going to clients or ourselves, or our own projects. And I think if you keep it that way, guys, you keep it real clean. If you're trying to build it into, and a lot of people do, that's why we have guest post farms out there. Those are all PBN sites. I mean, they're all PBN sites, and they're selling from there. Those are more risky now today than ever, though, after the Google updates, for sure. And the reason being is they just, I like to use the phrase, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. They just got greedy. Once you start selling to thousands of people backlinks, to your website, you're going to get a red flag eventually.
I totally agree. Next question from Jill, and that's getting back to the domain registration process. Not sure if you got what I meant. If I have 70 domains at the same registrar, can I move some of them to different registrars, or will Google know that they were all registered to me originally?
Yeah. I wouldn't feel safe for it because you are the original owner. If you were to do it, the only way I see that possible, or that would work, would be, hey, I'm going to throw, again, break them down, 10 domains to Namecheap, 10 to whatever, and then set up different accounts. So you got to still set up a different account under a different business name, family name, something of that sort. You could put 10, 15 under one roof, but you definitely don't want all 70 under, one roof. And you do want to register in different names, because if they do, they're going to come back to you and say, even if you've moved them, they're going to say, well, all 70 of these were originally with you. And they can see that. Now, they don't have a private eye detective, but we're just being extra, cautious. That's all.
And then Bernard is asking, will your course teach all of this so we can learn how to build the PBNs ourselves and have success? And that's because, and I don't think I mentioned that from the beginning, but Jay has a PBN course. And if you, perhaps Jay, if you could drop a link in the chat to the course. So, because that's also what I was thinking when I'm hearing you talking about the ping backlinks and all of that. Is that something that you are, because I know that you have the PBN course. Is that something that you actually, that's a part of the course, the backlinking part?
Yeah, it is. It's something I've actually added into the course as far as powering up the PBN sites themselves. And it really is a big link building course too. So I go into real detail there. I show you everything that we're doing. There's actually a portion where you actually see me starting up to build a 5-site PBN and going through the different days and everything. So the legwork on PBNs is the hardest part. And once we have them built, it's the easiest method. And I do go into automated content and get detailed with that as well, which is a big power plus right now as far as how we're doing that. How we're adding in our automated content, because we're doing it a few different ways and it's hitting. That's all I can say. It's like, it gets me excited thinking about it because it's really, really working well. Two things that we're looking to evolve on is, adding maybe some cloud links, which is what Jesper's got going. We're looking to evolve into that additional PBN, building up even a more diversified backlink profile on them.
Yeah.
Just because I get bored and I'm like, these are kind of vanilla. We're continuously using this. We're using that. I'm always out to do some diversity. So that's the only additional thing that we're maybe adding to the PBN course.
And Bernard is asking, discount, what is he willing to do as a Yax discount?
That's a great one. I hadn't really thought of that, but I would be willing to help everybody that's in the meeting today on these. Because the only thing I guess I would be concerned of would be anyone that I've already sold it to for a higher price. They could have come back and, yeah, that's fine. I would definitely work with you guys on, say, for the local SEO course, I could do 100 off. I could do 100 off of anything, I guess, which would be, besides the link building course, which is only a $200 course. It's very basic. You wouldn't want that if you've done most SEO or any type of link building. You probably wouldn't want the basic link building course anyway. So I'll go ahead and share my link in the chat. But yes, the PBN building course, I will shed, I have on sale. I'll tell you what, guys, for you guys today, since it is a high dollar course, I'll shed 300 off the PBN building course, and we can do 100 off the local SEO.
Okay. Okay, and I can see.
And the PBN building course is a lot of hours, a lot of work. So be prepared, to go at it for a good week.
I can see that the PBN course is on sale for $18.99, so it would be $15.99.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm willing to do $15.99 for that, and then local SEO for $400.
Now for $18.99, and Jay promise Jack's price for $15.99. So they can. I know that this came as a surprise, this question for you, so you don't have a coupon now, but I know that you're a member of the Yaks group, and so I think that when you have set up the coupon stuff, then you can just make a post and post it in the Yaks group.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that for you guys, and then just post it there.
And Bernard is saying payment plan on PBN, 3-pay plan, and I think that you can't answer that now, of course, but you can think about it, and then if you want to include the payment plan, then just include it in the posts. So
there is, and I actually have a full financing thing and everything that you can do that's no interest on it. So if they want to make it down into payments, that's fine.
My email is this 2 seconds. If anybody
the link that she asked, I was just gonna go ahead, Jesper. Sorry.
No, it's just because Mike is asking me what's your email, Jesper, and then I just typed in my email. Actually, we're not done with all of the questions because Ken is asking, in CTR, are you doing referral or are you doing search to send traffic?
Oh, okay. There's some interesting CTR tools out there and existing. Right now, we're utilizing, I'm not sure if I am involved with Agency Assassin a little bit. I was a partner on it in the beginning. I'm not now. It's CTR for maps. So right now we're running some manually searches through proxies and things of that nature, mobile clicks mostly going. I'm very cautious on doing websites, but I do like to do some to the post. So we show some traffic to these sites initially. It's something we don't go crazy on, guys, though. So when I mentioned CTR, you're talking maybe 1 or 2 clicks a day on a post or something of that nature. It's really not that extensive. It's basically to give Google's attention, to say, hey, this site's online. There's someone here. There's someone, going through the site. And we do keep it up at a very, where they're actually going through the site pages and stuff like that, and then end up on the post that we're trying to rank for. So yeah, that's something I'm utilizing. I don't have any recommendations. If you were doing CTR for maps, Agency Assassin would be my recommendation, but they don't have anything for organic listings.
I see. Okay. So actually, I have some questions. So when you're buying these expired domains, how do you avoid domains that has previously had porn content or if they have porn links? Because when you're using expireddomains.net, I also use that, and I just find it so impossible to avoid these crap domains. But what do you do? Because it's everywhere.
Well, yeah, they are. They're very high on there too. You're right. The porn, the casino links are very bad right there. We do check on Wayback Machine. She mentioned right there. We do look at some of that. The backlink profiles are huge though. So if I see a real big backlink profile, I'm pretty alert that it's most likely going to have tons of spammy, backlinks to porn, to casinos and things like that. There is a filtration system on there that my scraper guy is using. I'm not really 100% positive, but I'll be willing to share it with you, that he's filtering those to have a good trust flow. like
Mm.
Majestic trust flow has to be high. And once he sees that, then that's the first step that he's looking at for purchase. It's really not we look at the domain rating and domain authority, but that trust flow, which is a Majestic metric, is very important. So that has to be high for us to even peek at. So he scrapes them with a high trust flow, and then we'll go back through them on there. So yeah, you do need to be careful on what you're buying, but it's pretty obvious if you open up the backlink profile. That's why we do check refs, and if it has spam casino links, we're just not touching it.
So what about repurposing content in contrast to just putting on brand new content?
Yeah,
What's your experience with this? Because you can go into again Wayback Machine and then you can see all the old posts. And I know that
yeah,
that's a strategy that some use, that they just take the old content and just put it up again, in contrast
yeah,
to writing entirely new content.
yeah. Well, we check the URLs, and a lot of times backlinks are still, people just don't really do link building correctly with anchor text and backlinking on the majority. They're going to go to the homepage. So we do check Wayback Machine. If they have a lot of old posts that are archived, we do try to repurpose those. There's tools out there that you can pull out the XML from posts and things of that through WordPress. So we will export that and then import it into a new blog site and repurpose. And some of those sites I had up earlier actually did have a few repurposed posts on them. And we do try to recycle those as much of the URL structure as we can. Generally speaking, a lot of the expireds, though, will have links to homepage. If it says 80-90% of their linkage is to homepage, we might not touch the blog post. Like, we may not go ahead and just, say, all right, all of our links are going to the homepage anyway. Let's just build this site up and get some, new posts coming. But you do have to, just be careful on, like, I'll give you an idea. One of those cleaning sites was a very mommy blog. It was the lady was tips and tricks and everything we had. And we tried to repurpose some. We have it set down where we pull featured image and everything. We repurposed some of it, and it had her image, her face, her tips on there. And it was all personalized to her. So she came after us and said, hey, what's this? That's very rare, a cease and desist. But yeah, some of that stuff may be very private, so you have to watch some of that. But besides that, we just, we're looking at the URL structures on those and making sure that if we're going to do, if backlinks are already going to this URL, we're definitely going to make sure we have that on the new blog.
Yeah, and then
URL.
Jill is also saying that you got to be careful with that. I was copying the post from an expired domain on the Wayback Machine. It turned out they had just moved all their content to a new domain name, and that's of course, yeah, that's a no-no, because then you're going to compete with.
Then you're up there competing with them, and you doesn't remember. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yes, that's actually happened to us before as well. And yeah, it's where you actually are looking at the expired domain. I had a site that did that. Well, somebody bought one of our old company name sites, and they did that. And so it was actually the opposite way. They bought one of our old company names, and I saw they had all of our, old stuff on there. And I was like, wait a minute, that's me. That's me. Take me off of there. But yeah, good point. Good point. But for the most part, it's the URL structure we're after. So as long as you got the URLs right, that URL is getting backlinks. You want to create a page for that URL. And, if it's got some good anchor text in there that makes sense, go ahead and utilize that too. I lost you, Jesper, on volume, I think.
Okay, so let's see if I have a couple of more questions. Yeah, so with regards to PBN sites, because the way that I'm building affiliate sites, so I'm doing affiliate, the way that I build affiliate sites is a little bit different from the way they teach it in the affiliate lab from McDiggity and all these affiliate courses, because I'm using an actual address, and that's my own address. So for affiliate websites that I'm building, I want Google to be able to understand that I own the website.
Yeah.
I know and understand that if you're building an affiliate website for gambling, casino, a lot of these, you don't want to show who you are. but
Yeah.
no competition in affiliate niches. I have no problem with that. But how about how does that work for PBN sites? Because you want to make them look legitimate, but normally a legitimate PBN or legitimate company has an actual physical address. How do you get around with that?
Yeah, that's a good question. Some people are doing, and we've done a few of these where we actually add in commercial buildings, and we used to put GMBs on them, local GMBs too. But as you know, you really can't just, grab them and verify them as easy as you could. And right now, we're utilizing them more towards some of them as like I said, mommy blogs, and those mommy blog type sites. We're not putting any address on. We might put a city and state. But if it's a service-based one, like the Highbury guys, we'll try to pull out a commercial address, put it in there, and then we do run a loop of citation links that even go to MapQuest and things of that sort. So it will look like a business going to an office building. And we actually have passed a few verifications through by doing that method too, by having the address and the website blanketed across the internet. And it does help build authority, like you mentioned. So it is a dummy, it's a dummy address, so to speak. And there's a lot of verifications that are done on Google Maps that way. I mean, that's what these guys do. They pull them off. It doesn't work now, but it can, if you've got the address listed a lot. But it used to be they would just pull up an address on LoopNet, and that commercial office building, they would put it in for the GMB and verify it. Same type of thing for a PBN site. The other thing is, what I was going to say, there was one more thing I was going to put to that. Oh, that's where, like I was going to say, like the Crunchbase and these other sites go into, actually having a same type of address listed on there.
I know that here in Denmark, because I just got a Google Business Profile verified for one of my affiliate sites, and here in Denmark, Google is actually calling you. So a guy from Google Denmark.
Oh, wow.
Hello, this is so and so from Google Denmark. Just want to make sure that you just set up a Google Business Profile there. Yes. Is it a legitimate business? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
That's the short version of how it the talk that I had with him. But yeah, so it's and it got approved actually. It got verified, showing now in the maps.
Yeah, what's strange about that, Jesper, is I'm sitting here on a Sunday, I think it was, and I was like, let me try to verify a listing. I had a brand new cell phone, and I wanted to do myself, like as an SEO consultant. So I was like, I'll just go on there and put marketing consultant. And I put my name in there, and you'll see it's up there. Like, they didn't call me. They didn't make me do a video. They didn't do anything. They just put my listing up there. And I said, wow, so, and this was recent, like a week, 2 weeks ago, a couple weeks back, probably. So yeah, I don't know. It's weird how they allow some just to push right through. I mean, mine was, I know, how'd you verify? I'm like, I didn't do anything. I put my cell phone number in, and they gave it.
I think that Google has a pretty good understanding of shady methods. So
yeah,
I think that's they understand what's a shady method and what's not a shady method. So
yeah, and I think that's really that was my thoughts. I thought, well, they know I'm just a consultant. I'm using my real name. They can see me on the internet, so hey, this is that guy. Let's put him up.
Yeah.
That's what was my thinking of it too.
Yeah.
But so real quick on your point, you did mention the address stuff. But yeah, if you're building for, an off base or even a product website, there is some PBNs done for product sites. You don't need addresses, for that kind of stuff really, or casinos or gambling and things like that.
No.
But yeah, when you're getting more service based, that's where you kind of want to try to sneak a few in anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So we have now spent an hour and 20 minutes. So I think that we are going to close now. So if people have questions, now is the time to ask. And if not, then I want to thank you, Jay, for coming on. It's been a pleasure, and it's just super interesting. I can't get enough of hearing about this, especially the link building part, which is, of course, my interest, but also all of the people watching. They're all super interested in the advanced link building stuff that you're talking about. So thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you, Jesper. And I'll go ahead and share. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. And I'll share my Facebook link in case anybody wants to reach out there, has a question. I like to be a helpful person. I'm somebody that does this obviously for a living, but I do it to help people. And I really do believe in that, because as you know, the SEO world is a little bit tarnished, and
Yeah.
my world here is to try to clean that up as best as I can when dealing with people one-on-one. So I appreciate you, Jesper, and your time. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. All right. But thanks for coming on, and I'll just close this, and then I will reclaim host. 2 seconds. Dude.
Thank you, guys. And I will share those coupons. I see the questions coming in. I'm going to put them all up today. Somebody asked about the link building course. It's a cheap course, but I'll go ahead and knock a little bit off of that too for you guys. So if somebody wanted it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.